like cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. To play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DELRAY, Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor. Click on the thumbs up notification. Definitely helps the channel. Also, if you are new to the channel, you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. And like I always say, if you want to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of the straight game, please do me a favor and click on what appears to be that little bell notification right below this video. I'm going to get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, there's some red flags in the Little Rod case against Diddy that I wanted to make a video and actually share this with you to see what you guys thought. And my question is, why did Little Rod stay after February 2nd, 2023, if you will? In order to be or have something or the same thing repeated to him on July, and did he have time to get away, or was he looking at something else and not really worried about his safety at that particular time? I'm gonna get into it like this. Listen, this is from the affidavit that Little Rod filed. This is what he said, not what I'm saying or anybody else's. Paragraph 53, on February 2nd, 2023, I believe Mr. Combs drugged me. This is Little Rod, the former producer of Sean P. Diddy Combs, who alleged that he was assaulted by Sean P. Diddy Combs. He said, on February 2nd, 2023, I believe Mr. Combs drugged me. I remember waking up naked, dizzy, and confused. I was in bed with 2 sex workers and Mr. Combs. I also recall aimlessly wandering around the house with no clothes on. I have photos of the sex workers sleeping on the bed the morning after. I can provide it to the court if necessary. Pause. After that night, or after on February 3rd, I'm out. I'm out. I don't know about you or anybody that you may know, but at the end of the day, if something like that happened to me, common sense tells me that I got to get out of there. You know, I'm not tripping on no, 2 females in the bed or whatever that is or whatever have you and so on and so forth, right? Little Rod said he believed that Sean Puffy Combs drugged him. And he remembered waking up naked and dizzy and confused. I was in the bed with 2 sex workers and Mr. Combs. Now, the sex worker thing hasn't been proved. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, it's two women and Mr. Combs. I also recall aimlessly wandering around the house with no clothes on. I have photos of the sex workers sleeping on the bed the morning after. I can provide it to the court if necessary. Right? That's on February 2nd, 2023. Now I just want you to understand, right? When you think about, when you think about what it is that's being alleged, and, you want to believe people for what they're saying, and because it's very important that we take Little Rod's word for what he's being said, right? So that's on February 2nd, 2023, right? Okay. Now, let's go. February, March, April, May, June, July. 5 months later, after that horrific situation in which Little Rod explained that he believed that Sean P. Diddy Combs drugged him, right? 5 months has passed. Like I said, me, common sense, you probably common sense, something like that happened. It all depends on who you are, right? I'm gone. I'm drugged. I don't feel it, man. Look, what happened, man? Whatever. Okay. Little Rod evidently stays around, because then he gives, in the same affidavit, he gives a detail of another example 5 months later. Little Rod did not leave after believing that he was being drugged the first time. 5 months later, Little Rod gives another example. For example, on July 2nd, 2023, Mr. Combs had a listening party in his California home. There were a lot of people present at this party, including Chris Brown, Justin Combs, alleged sex workers. Once again, see the sex worker, word being used, and some underage girls, right? Now, no one knows that these girls were underage. It's an allegation, right? The thing that gets me is now and like I said before in previous videos, I believe that the people who were believed to be underage, right, or appeared to be underage, were friends of his sons or daughters or whatever, twin daughters, Justin, Christian, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, yo, your father got a big house, y'all, they have a party, listening party, Chris Brown not gonna be there, y'all come over and check it, you know what I mean? This is how I'm seeing this. But Little Rod says, he admits now, Justin Combs would typically bring the younger women to these parties. Nothing nefarious, because Justin Combs is a younger man, right? He said, I have 2 videos of 2 different sex workers, alleged sex workers. We don't know if these people were sex workers or not, man. That Justin Combs brought with him to Chalice Recording Studios. I can provide the videos to the court. Were these people underage that were alleged to be sex workers? We don't know that. We don't even know if they were actually sex workers. These are the allegations being made in this civil case. But remember, this is July 2nd, 2023, 5 months after what Little Rod had alleged, the horrific situation that had happened to him, right? Right? In February, right? Okay, in February. That's what happened in February. But now we in July, and he's explaining this other party. And then he goes on to say, this event began at 7 p.m. Mr. Combs requested female sex workers and required me to solicit them. Now Little Rod has a recollection of, what Mr. Combs has requested for him to do, and now he has to solicit them after waking up in the bed with 2 alleged sex workers and Mr. Combs in February. He's still around. At this particular time, I got to go to Jack in the Box or something. I want a burger. You know what I mean? I ain't going to be around this no more, but no, Lil Rod decides to stay. So this event, the one, in July, began at 7 p.m. Mr. Combs requested female sex workers and required me to solicit them. An hour later, several sex workers appeared. Little Rod, it didn't bring off any red flags, anything. In addition to sex workers, there were at least 5 women in the crowd who appeared to be under the age of 16. Appeared to be. Once again, hinting at this underage thing, sex workers, sex trafficking, people being drugged. Listen, though, remember, this is 5 months later after the horrific situation in February, right? Then it goes on to say, Mr. Combs forced all of the attendees to drink laced De Leon liquor, right? How did he know it was laced? He said, I believe Mr. Combs laced the liquor with ecstasy. Now, he doesn't have any proof, doesn't offer any proof. This is what he believes. He said, I have personally witnessed his staff members, Brendan Paul and Moy Bond, lace alcohol with ecstasy. I asked the question, after what happened in February, how come Little Rod is still hanging around? I don't know. It's just a question that I have, right? And he's witnessing He's personally witnessing staff members of Mr. Combs allegedly Brendan Paul and Moy Bond lace alcohol with ecstasy. And Little Rod is not telling anybody, giving anybody any warnings, right? This is 5 months later. Listen, after being forced to drink laced De Leon shots, right? So Little Rod basically saying he's saying he knew they were laced and he was forced to drink laced De Leon shots. This is 5 months later, after he believed that he was drugged in February. Now he's being forced to drink, what he believes to be laced De Leon shots. I began feeling lightheaded, and I passed out. I remember waking up at 4 a.m. the following morning, naked, with a sex worker sleeping next to me. Right? 5 months later, same thing happened. Once again, he waking up, don't remember nothing, but he waking up with, now he got one sex worker. Now it's not P. Diddy and two sex workers like it was in February. Now it's just one sex worker, and he basically was forced, what he understood, to drink laced De Leon liquor, if you will. Listen. So, when you understand that, I'm asking you guys, to me, there's some red flags, because Little Rod had 5 months to get away from that situation. And I'm sure in those 5 months, he wasn't always in P. Diddy's house. He was allowed to go somewhere in L.A. Like you said, he was traveling back and forth. They went to, on this yacht cruise and all of these other things, right? So there's something missing within that 5 months. And what we need to know is what happened in between the 5 months from February 2nd, right? From February 2nd to July 2nd. I don't know if I made a mistake and said 23rd earlier, but July 2nd. We need to understand and what happened. And why didn't Little Rod try to get away from February 2nd when he believed that Sean Combs drugged him the first time? It's what he believed, not that he could prove. He believes it, right? And then he woke up in the bed with Sean Combs allegedly and two sex workers, right? Right? Two women. I'm going to just say two women. I ain't going to call them sex workers because I don't know if they're sex workers or not. It hasn't been proven that they've been sex workers, but we do understand that there were two women, right? So, he remember wandering around aimlessly, no clothes on, this horrific situation on February 2nd, 2023. Only to stay around 5 months to July 2nd, 2023. For the same thing to happen again. And this time, for him to allegedly know that the alcohol was actually being spiked and laced. This is what he's saying that he knows. And only again to wake up in the bed with a sex worker laying next to him. Or better yet, a female laying next to him. From that perspective. Somebody got some explaining to do, because I'm not really getting this. I'm just reading from the facts that they allege that happened, right? So from February 2nd, 2023 to July 2nd, 2023. In those 5 months, we need to know why Little Rod didn't try to get away. Right? But we can understand partially what it is or what happened from that perspective based on some of the things that P. Diddy allegedly promised Little Rod. The Grammys, the $250,000 for all of the equipment and instruments he wanted, and allegedly ownership in his property at Star Island in Florida, his $20 million property. These are the allegations that were made in this declaration written by Little Rod himself. Yeah, I need some help with this one, y'all. Your boy DELRAY, straight gang.